Oh, there it goes. Hi, Algebra 1 lovelies. This is dividing fractions. So we're still working on that third multiplying and dividing fractions objective, but I thought I'd split it into parts for you. So dividing, we want to think about 6 divided by 1/3. So we're dividing it into pieces of size a third, which is kind of weird. 6 divided by a third, it's not too bad though. If you draw it out, we have thirds. We're going to need a lot of thirds, aren't we? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wholes, and we're going to divide them into thirds. Well, we just divided it into thirds, but really we didn't divide, we actually multiplied. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, let me get this up so you can see it a little better. Here we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wholes divided into a third. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 pieces. So that's kind of weird that I got bigger. Much easier way to do this though, when we're dividing, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. I'll show you what that looks like at the bottom in the notes. So it's actually 6 times 3 over 1. I flipped it. So what this means is we actually have 18. So moving along, we want to think about a half divided by a half. So we're going to start with a half. So here's my half. I'm going to divide that into halves. Okay, so actually I take my half and I divide that into halves too. I'll use another color. Now I actually have 2. I'm going to do the actual math though. 1/2 times 2 over 1, and that's really going to turn into 2 halves, which is really 1. That's why it's super weird to think about a half divided into a half, which is kind of really crazy. So anyway, what we can see is when we multiply 1 times 2 is 2, 2 times 1 is also 2, and we simplify this by dividing both of them, and we get 1 over 1, which is 1. Okay, notes. Here's the little notes piece. When dividing fractions, you multiply by the reciprocal. And the reciprocal is when you flip the fraction, okay? But we're going to use the word reciprocal, but that's when you flip the fraction. Flip is not really great math terminology, so we're going to call it reciprocal. Then you simplify your answer. Oh, I guess I had a note for reciprocal there. So for example, the reciprocal of 3/11 is 11/3. Okay? So doing some examples. When you divide, you're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So what this means is actually 1/2 times 4/3. And then we just kind of multiply. 1 times 4 is 4. And down here, 2 times 3 is 6. And then we simplify. So what can we divide out of 4 and 6? We can divide both of those by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 2/3 is our answer. Okay, number 2, same thing. When we divide by a fraction, we multiply by the reciprocal. So 5, 6 times 3/2. And this turns into 5 times 3 is 15. 6 times 2 is 12. And we simplify. We can divide both of those by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. 12 divided by 3 is 4, 5/4. Moving right along. Now, this may look scary to some of you, but it is the same thing. Remember, a fraction is the same thing as division. So we have a fraction on top right here, 7/9, and we're going to divide that by this other fraction, which is our 3/14. If I were to rewrite this in the way that you just saw the problem, it would be 7/9 divided by 3/14. Same thing. I'm not going to do that all the time. I'm only going to do it once so that you can see. But this really means 7/9. We multiply by the reciprocal, 14/3. Okay, and down here, I'm going to keep going. 7 times 14. Well, I need to do a little scratch work. 7 times 4 is 28. We got 7 times 1 and 2 more is 98. So we get 98 over 9 times 3, which is 27. Okay, and then we can simplify by dividing these. So I'm going to leave it like this because I don't feel like simplifying it right now. Moving on to 4. We got 20 over 63 divided by 9/10. So this means 20 over 63, we multiply by the reciprocal, we multiply by 10 over 9. Okay, so, and then we multiply across. 20 times 10 is 200. 63 times 9, again, I'm going to have to do a little work, so I don't have a calculator with me. So 3 times 9 is 18. I'm going to carry my 1. 9 times 6 is 54, plus 1 more is 55. So this is 200 over 558. I don't want to simplify that right now, but I could. Now this one, number 5 and 6, look a little scary. We're going to look for the bigger fraction bar. So right here in the middle, you can see that this is the bigger fraction bar. So we're going to say 6/10 divided by 2, which we'll write as a fraction. 2 as a fraction is 2 over 1. So if I write that 6/10 divided by 2 over 1, right? And when we divide, we multiply by the reciprocal. 6/10 times 1 over 2. 6 times 1 is 6. 10 times 2 is 20. Then we got to divide both of those by what we can divide both by. Sorry, we simplify it. 6 divided by 2, 20 divided by 2, we get 3/10. I actually simplified that one. I didn't simplify the last one. If you have time, you should simplify these. Make sure that they are in lowest form. But I don't. Number 6, I'm going to simplify this fraction, but you see the big fraction bar over here? We're saying 12 divided by the fraction 2/12. So I'm going to do 12 divided over 1. Now I'll rewrite it for you. This is saying 12 over 1 divided by 2 over 12. Okay, when we divide, we multiply by the reciprocal. I'm going to write it over here. 12 over 1 times 12 over 2. Well, 12 times 12 is 144, because I know my 12s. 1 times 2 is 2. And 144 divided by 2, we got to simplify this by 2. Divided by 2, divided by 2. 144 divided by 2. Do I need to do long division for this? It is, what is that, 72? Thanks. So it's 72. 2 divided by 2 is 1. There's dividing by fractions. Bye-bye.